Welcome back, everybody. My name is Brad. This is Firewood at the Furnace, and today we're going to do something we haven't done in quite a while, and that is run a chainsaw. Since the EVO got here to the yard, I've been putting a lot of wood through that, getting used to it, and making a big pile of wood over there. So the processor has been doing most of my cutting, but I've got some wood set aside here today that isn't going to go through the processor. It's going to be cut with the 500i, and I'll show you what that is, so stick around. So you know, I've been keeping most of my cherry, not all of it, but most of my cherry separate, and I'm stacking it in these totes. Stacking it in there, trying to save some space since totes are limited. But I did put some cherry through the Eastonmade EVO because I had some nice straight cherry logs that were perfect candy for that machine. So I'm not exclusively separating cherry, but definitely trying to stockpile a little bit in separate piles. So I've got these few logs laying here that I pulled out of the big pile that are not necessarily too crooked to go through the processor, because that thing is pretty forgiving when it comes to needing or not needing perfectly straight poles. It does put through some crooked stuff. But I separated this out because I need to keep some cherry separate. And these are the poles that we're going to cut today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 cherry logs there that are kind of in the way now because I pulled them out and laid them here sideways. But I need to get the grapple truck in here to load some more wood up to take to the processor. So today we're going to use the 500i. We'll get that cut up, and as soon as it's cut up, we're going to get it split on the axis, stacked in these totes, and then we'll move the totes over to where we're stockpiling all the cherry wood. So for those of you who are on patrol today, the safety patrol, I've got my chaps on, I've got my boots on, got my eyes, and I've got my ears. So we're ready to roll. Now, I still have been having the same problem with this saw since I ran it over and had to put the new handle on it. You know, I've had a problem with when I go to start the saw, the cord just pulls freely and doesn't catch the recoil or the flywheel. I've taken it apart a couple times, seems to work for a while, and then it does it again. We're going to see if it does it here today. But I'm wondering if I need to get a whole new recoil or what the problem is here, because it doesn't do it all the time, just on occasion. See, it just did it there. If I start with tension on the cord, it will do it, but if I start it at the bottom and pull it, that's when it goes free. All right, let's try this again with a sharp chain. That first one, I forgot I hadn't sharpened it, so I'm not cutting like that. We've got all that cherry cut up, at least all the cherry cut up that I'm gonna cut up. You see this log right here I didn't touch because if you notice down there on the bottom there's a poison ivy vine and it doesn't run very far up, only to about that crotch right there. And if you've been following the channel for any length of time, you know that poison ivy and I have a hate-hate relationship. I don't like it and it does not like me. I mean, when I get it very bad. So we're just gonna let that be, and I'm not even gonna cut on that, and I'll get rid of that because it's not worth taking the chance. So we're gonna get the axes fired up here now, start splitting. And there we go, all that cherry's done. That little bit of cherry we cut off, that was in my way. A little project I've been needing to get to, and finally got that done. We've got just about 2 more totes filled up with cherry wood. Once we top this one off here in a little bit, we will move this over to the other area where I'm keeping the cherry totes. But anyway, it was good to run the 500i again. It's been a while. Been concentrating, like I said, running the EVO. It'd been so long since I ran the 500i that I forgot I didn't have a sharp chain on it. So that first cut there you saw, I knew right away I wasn't going to spend the morning cutting with that chain. So luckily I had a new chain in the truck with me, so I swapped it out. I'll get that other one sharpened up. It'll be running good as new. But anyway, that's it for today. We got that cherry done. Processor's going to be running again real soon, so you're going to be seeing that. Concentrating on splitting like maple, ash, and cherry right now. Seems how we're getting a little later into the spring and almost into the summer. That stuff will dry a lot quicker than, say, oak, hickory, locust. So I'm kind of concentrating on the wood that dries the fastest right now. But bundles are still keeping me busy, and we got to keep up with that too. So that's it for this week. I'll see you back here next Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. and I hope you all have a great week.